Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm a tropical Western astrologer. And today we're going to talk about the new moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo. It's happening on September the 21st at 12:53 p.m. PST. So you can adjust that for where you are on the planet. I'm going to talk about the astrology of this particular solar eclipse and how it's going to impact you. I'm going to invite you to open up your birth chart. If you don't know how to get your birth chart, you can go to astro.com. I advise you to look at your whole sign and your Placidus house sign system when you're looking at an eclipse so that you can see exactly where this eclipse is hitting you. And so if you don't know what I'm talking about, send me a message. I can help you pull up your chart and we can dive deep into where this is particularly hitting you. Go back to my full moon lunar eclipse report that I posted on the September 7th full moon lunar eclipse so that you can hear about when these cycles of eclipses hit. And I want you to go back to those years and see what happened in your life and if you're seeing those same themes happen again. So first of all, let's just look at what is this solar eclipse all about. There's a beautiful kite formation at the time of this particular new moon on steroids. That's what a solar eclipse is, they say. So it's a new beginning. New moons are always about new beginnings, but when it's a solar eclipse, it's a new beginning on steroids. So you don't do manifestation work at the time of eclipses. It will just all unfold. And so sit back, become the great observer, get your popcorn, and take note what's coming in and what's leaving, because that's what eclipses do. They are the great timeline shifters. And it's up to you to take an honest look at the relationships, the events, the jobs, the circumstances in your life that are no longer serving you. And you're starting to feel the push-pull away. So are you listening to the inner calling to say goodbye where you need to say goodbye? Or are you holding on tightly like the Four of Pentacles in the tarot and you're not letting it go and you're refusing to say goodbye because the eclipses want it to leave so that you can get this fresh new beginning? I truly feel that this is a very karmic cycle that we're all experiencing as a collective. So out there in the world, we're experiencing karma from everyone living on the planet, but also on a personal level. And I want you to take a look at your chart and we can take an honest look at what's coming and going. Okay, so back to this particular solar eclipse. Okay, so this is another new moon in Virgo. So that's called a blue moon when you have a moon, either a full moon or a new moon in the same sign. So we had a new moon in Virgo just on August 23rd. And I advised all of you to take out your moon journals and write your manifestations, write your intentions at the time of the new moon. And it was that it was that new moon that kickstarted this eclipse season. So go back, get your moon journals and see what you wrote down for your intentions and see if this is the new beginning now that it's at 29 degrees. We're not doing intentions at the time of the eclipse new moon, but go back to that August 23rd new moon at 0 degrees Virgo. That's the beginning degree. And then 29 degree is the final degree. And that's what makes it a blue moon, okay? So there is a kite formation. That means that there's a lot of trines happening. It looks like a kite. There's a lot of trines happening with the new moon. And across, there's always an opposition in a kite. So a kite offers a lot of spiritual support, a lot of planetary things, and it's easier. The planets are working together in your favor and nudging you softly to get it done. But whenever there's a kite, there's always an opposition, and the opposition doesn't feel quite as kind. And so, what is the opposition to it? We got the sun and the moon together. They're conjunct. That's what makes it a new moon. And right across the road in the kite, we've got Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries And we've got Saturn at 28 degrees of Pisces. And so, if you've been following my daily astrology reports, I started on September 1st and I'm doing them daily because this is the ninth month of the 9 year, because 2025 equals nine. This is the 9-9 portal all month long to make huge changes. So all of 2025 has been urging us to make the changes and to be honest with ourselves, take an honest inventory, an honest look at our stuff. Be honest about the triggers that are coming up, the shadows that are rising up, just begging to be looked at, transmuted into light. It's all that stuff that's percolating up to the surface that perhaps we thought we healed 15 years ago, 20 years back. And then, boom, here it is during the eclipse season, especially during that sandwich in between the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. That's such a powerful time for so many of us to get honest, take radical responsibility, become the great observer of our life. And I saw it in the charts that 2025 was offering us to change almost everything. Change the way we think, change the way that we're looking at it, change our mindsets, perhaps change a lot of relationships, perhaps change our job, big, big changes, perhaps move, like all of these changes are being urged by the cosmos. And I always go back to the Hermetic principle of as above, so below. So the cosmos are changing every day. Every single day, there's something happening up there, and it's bringing it down into us. Are we connecting with our intuitive guide that we are connected to the cosmos, right? We are but stardust. Are we connecting with our inner guide, our North Star, if you will, as above, so below? And so the cosmos have been encouraging us all year to make huge changes and let go what needs to let go so that we can open doors to a whole new world, stuff we can't even think of, and a way of thinking and a way of living that perhaps we can't even imagine because it just seems too good, or we just can't even think of it, right? That's the big changes that 2025 are urging us to do. So we've also got Mars at 29 degrees of Libra at the time of this. So it's not part of everything and they cross the road. But Mars enters Scorpio the next day on September 22nd, and that's the fall equinox. It's always a very powerful portal to make huge changes, right? Any season change is always another offering to change. So here it is. We've got this partial solar eclipse, 29-degree Virgo, the final degree of Virgo, the anaretic degree, the 0-degree Virgo new moon we had August 23rd, and now here we have the 29-degree Virgo new moon, and it's a solar eclipse, and that's happening on the 21st. And I strongly feel that all of these changes that are happening up in the cosmos and happening within ourselves, it's offering us a whole new road, a whole new timeline. We might not even know what it is, but it's being led by Neptune and Saturn because, like I say, in that kite formation, the sun and the moon, the king and the queen, are opposite Neptune and Saturn. And with Saturn stationing, not stationing retrograde, but going back into Pisces on September 1st. September 1st was a huge update in the astrology, and that's when I started my daily astrology. September 1st, Saturn went back into Pisces, strongly urging us to set some boundaries where boundaries haven't been, because Pisces doesn't like boundaries and Saturn likes boundaries. And so Saturn's been going through Pisces, and now it's offering us another opportunity to take a look at our Pisces house placement, wherever Pisces falls in your natal birth chart. That's the area of life that you're being urged strongly to set some boundaries and do a lot of work, like every day, like do it, like get it done, build it, and do the damn thing every single day and set the boundaries and follow the restrictions and the rules so that you can build something that is strong and it's not going to just blow away, right? And Pisces, when it's in Pisces, Pisces rules the water and it's like doesn't understand boundaries, right? So Saturn's going back into, and it happened on September 1st, and now this solar eclipse is opposing Saturn in Pisces, as well as Neptune at zero in Aries. And I keep saying this is such a bigger story for us to see if we can understand and see if we can work with it. The bigger story is that on February 20th, 2026, Saturn, the planet of reality, and Neptune, the planet of dreams, coming together on February 20th, 2026 at 0 degrees of Aries. 0 degrees of Aries is the beginning degree. It is the creator degree. It is the whole new world degree. It is the new era degree. And again, maybe we can't even think what that means or how that's going to look. But, Neptune being dream and Saturn being reality is dream reality. Like it is available to us. The dream reality, a dream future, if we build it, it will be there for us. But first, we got to work on our boundaries. First, we got to work on our stuff. First, we have to do the daily work, and it's a lot of work. And I always say, like the shadow work, it's no joke. I wrote the book, right? Here it is. This book is very helpful in teaching you what is shadow work and how do you do it in the first place and why would you even do it in the first place. And I give you some good brain hacks. And I offer you in this book an end of day inventory. And it's a very powerful. You can do it now without even buying the book. And so every single day, at the end of the day, you just notice where your thoughts went. So did you go down a huge rabbit hole? And now at the end of the day, you're feeling depleted. Did you talk politics all day and you went down the politics rabbit hole and then you were scrolling and seeing all these different, and now you are like seriously confused, or else you're extremely upset, feeling us versus them, feeling all that polarizing, the way that politics can or religion can completely polarize you. Oh, we're right, they're wrong. you know, Take an inventory at the end of the day. Where did your thoughts go? Focus your thought. And then as you do this every day, you can catch yourself like, oh, I'm going down that political rabbit hole. You catch yourself quicker when you actually are doing this every single day. And that's what Neptune and Saturn coming together, 0 degree Aries, February 20th, 2026, offers a whole new reality, a whole new world, a whole new way of thinking, a dream reality, something we can't even think of because we haven't lived in that kind of level of peace yet. But first, we've got to do the Saturn work. And September 1st, it happened. Saturn going back into Pisces, strongly urging us to do this daily work. The spiritual daily work takes work. It is work. So for the people out there that say that spirituality shouldn't be work and stuff, okay, that's one way of thinking about it. But really, it's about reprogramming our programs, right? We understand when we do this work that we are all programmed, probably by around the age of 7, the scientists say. And then most of us are just running on loops of programs and we're reacting as opposed to responding. And we can get caught. You can get caught because stress hormones are addictive and we can get addicted to the drama, addicted to the scrolling. We can get addicted to believing we're right, they're wrong. But these cosmos, and I keep talking about like the daily, okay, Mercury's doing this, and Uranus stationed retrograde the day before the lunar eclipse. Like I can see this in a chart in the what's happening in the daily astrology in the heavens every single day, and I can see how it's all offering us opportunities to do the unlearning, to do the deprogramming and to take radical responsibility for ourselves. That's where we're at the ninth month of the 9 year. It's not any more farting around. This is not easy energy anymore. This is and I'm not trying to come across fearful or demanding, and I'm not even telling you to believe what I believe. I'm saying that the cosmos are dishing it out, and a lot of us are feeling it. For those of us that are hardcore empaths and we're sensitive souls, we're feeling it now. This is serious now. There's no more joking around. We actually have to take radical responsibility for ourselves. There's actually no more room for blaming. Because if you do, you're keeping your energy very low. And if we want to get to this dream reality, Neptune and Saturn, that's offering us a whole new way. What we need to do is we need to work on our vibrations. We need to work on ourselves. We need to work on what's happening inside, right? And so if we keep fighting with each other, if we keep saying it's their fault, blaming, taking zero responsibility for ourselves, but maybe starting to do the work, raising the vibrations. Once you get up, then that's when you can align with your highest timeline. That's when you can get into alignment with the next level of your soul's growth. If you're going to stay fighting, shaming and blaming, that's where you're at, and you won't have the opportunity to grow. And I feel like this particular solar eclipse, with all of these trines in a kite, with the opposition of the sun and the moon, the king and the queen opposite, these two planets, they're going to be coming together at that creator degree, Neptune and Saturn. This eclipse is really triggering that future event on February 20th, 2026, that dream reality that we can just fly with if our vibration is available, if we are available for it, if we are making ourselves available, if we are raising our vibration to get into alignment with that timeline. That's the highest timeline for you and for me and for all of humanity. But we need to work on our vibration. We need to work on our own alignment in order to get there. It's not just going to fall into our laps. There's not going to be a savior coming to save us and say, come along with us. Doesn't matter. You're still blaming and shaming and complaining and telling your victim stories and staying stuck in the loops of the programs that are no longer serving you. No, no, no. So again, not trying to be fear-based in my message, but trying to also at the same time let you know that these energies are now serious. This is, we're feeling it. And this solar eclipse is really triggering with the sun and the moon opposite Neptune and Saturn. This is like, we've got to make some decisions. So if the thing comes in around the time of the eclipse, it doesn't have to be the day of. It can be like weeks before as well as months later, this energy of eclipses, right? But definitely take note of what's happening 10 days prior, 10 days after. Definitely take note. If something is wanting to leave your life and you're holding on for dear life because it's the way your mom did it and the way your grandma did it and the way her mother did it, and every generation of my lineage did it, something like this, if you catch my drift. So not only it's a family thing, it's a way of thinking that my family did it, so I have to do it, but it is begging and demanding to leave. Something like that might happen around at the time of the eclipse, or a job, or like a relationship, like even a best friend you've had for years, like decades, maybe even, and it's come to a crescendo, shall we say? And you're like, well, I don't have any other friends, so I've just got to put up with it. It's like, okay, you have that choice, but it's going to keep you in a certain vibration. The friendship, the job that is crushing your soul, the way of thinking, the organized religion that's no longer working for you. Fill in the blanks. It could be anything. The hatred you have for that family member, the way you blame others constantly and tell your victim story, even if that victim story is horrendous, like that thing did happen. And I'm not saying it didn't, and I'm not saying abuse is okay, but like if you're still in the loop of telling your story, you're not giving yourself the availability to raise your vibration. And so that's why this solar eclipse is gnarly. I've been saying it for a while. The lunar eclipse that happened on September 7th, there was a trine from Jupiter giving gifts. I'm just like, are you available for the gifts? It's coming in. It's there for you. It's a pretty nice feeling full moon. This solar eclipse can be gnarly. This one might be gnarly if you are holding on tight. If you refuse, then there's this new beginning on steroids that you're going to shut a door to. You won't even see that there's a door there. It's this door of opportunity that is available that you might not even know that there's a door. So that was a rant. I know you're here for it. You've been listening to my dailies. Thank you for all your comments on my dailies. I'm going to continue because the weeks that follow, yeah, the energy is punching now. Is that what the kids say these days? It's popping. It's no more farting around. These energies, these energies are fierce. If if we're staying low with our mindsets, with our energy, with refusing to see a different way, refusing to think outside of a box or to take yourself out of that box. It'll just be really hard. So, who's open for a whole new world and a new way? Because again, with a kite, there's not just that opposition. There's all of these beautiful trines full of talents, full of things you'd never thought of before, full of ideas and creative energy that perhaps never even occurred to you. But I want to be open to the new creative energy. And I want to be open with my heart open, with my mind. When my mind open, my heart open. I want to use my mind and my heart together. I want to make decisions from my heart and I want to speak from my heart. I want these videos to touch your heart. I'm here to, even if I impact one person listening, that's my goal, you know. I want to be there for you. I felt very alone on this journey, and not to tell a victim story, but when you start to change your mindset and you start to make big decisions and you start to say no to certain groups of friends or you quit a job. I've done all those things, you know, and it's so lonely. I remember feeling so isolated. And that's when I found the YouTubes. And I thank all the YouTubers that came before me. And so now here I am, the voice for others. And I hope you don't feel lonely. But if you do, please know you're not alone. And please do know that I see in the cosmos. I intuitively read it. And my professional astrology background, I can see that things are changing a lot. Stuff we can't even think of, things that we haven't lived yet. And I personally am here for it. And I personally am so excited that I'm alive for this time in history. And I feel like I'm still young. I still have energy and vitality. And for me, it's energizing. And I hope that my voice is voicing that for you too. So we're going to go through an all signs astrology forecast. And then I'm going to pull some tarot and a oracle card to give even more input on this energy of the partial new moon solar eclipse on September 21st. Okay, first up, we've got Virgo. Virgo, I want you to consider the first house and the seventh house. You're Virgo rising. Okay, so this new moon solar eclipse is 29-degree Virgo in your first house. So how the hell are you doing, Virgo risings? Oh my God. Oh my God. Please do know this is a karmic release and for everyone, not just for you. It's a karmic release, and I want you to work with your first and your seventh house. And the rule with eclipses is there are no rules. So, sure, there's a new moon solar eclipse in your first house, but you have to take the seventh house into consideration. And so, probably, but not always, probably you're letting go of something in your first house so that you can improve your seventh house. Okay, what does that mean? Probably you're letting go of a mindset that no longer serving you. Probably you're letting go something to do with your body, like physical health, like your physical health of your physical body. Something is releasing, something is ending there so that your relationships can improve because seventh house is your relationships, that's your people. So maybe you're meeting friends. So maybe like an example would be like you're going to finally join the gym. You're finally joining the gym because you gained a whole bunch of weight and you're sick and tired of this new body that just doesn't serve you anymore and you're feeling like this isn't me healthy. So you've joined a gym and then you meet your best friends at the gym. Like that's just one example of the first and seventh totally changing your life. That's you meet your people. You finally met your people, or you meet your husband. You meet your future husband because you went to the gym because you got so sick and tired. Or it's something to do with what you're consuming, eating. It has something to do with your health. There's a karmic release regarding your health, and it could be your mental health, right? Like, where are your thoughts going? And are you doing that really cool inventory that I told you about in my shadow workbook, the end of day inventory? Where did my thoughts go today? Because if you're beating yourself up, like if you are angry at the world and you hate the political landscape of the politics, and that's where your thoughts went. Okay, don't judge yourself, but notice it so that tomorrow, when you're going down the rabbit hole of hating the world and the people in it and the politics and the politicians, you'll catch yourself quicker. And then day three, quicker. And then you get to be the observer and you start to go, oh, yeah, politics is there and I'm not there. It doesn't serve me anymore. Maybe you'll get to that point. But what I'm trying to say, Virgo rising, is there's a huge change with your mind, body, spirit that is a release. And I strongly urge you to not hold on to it. If that mindset is killing you, it's crushing your soul. It's like, well, I have to do it, like, or she won't be my friend anymore. Like that sort of thing. I remember saying that to myself. I knew I had to say this thing to my friend. I had to keep saying this thing to my friend, or she was going to dump me. Well, I was right. She did dump me when I finally said the thing. Congratulations. Thing is, when you close that door, you open the door to new friends that are more in alignment with your people. You'll find your people. So, what's the karmic release for you, Virgo? It could be any area of your life, by the way. It might not just be health, body, mind, spirit. It could be any area of your life. Please don't, if you are feeling anxiety, move through it. Because when these huge things happen on the first, in your first house, anxiety is normal. It's normal. So if you're feeling a lot of anxiety and you're a Virgo rising, it's okay. Let the anxiety move through you. It's just energy. All it is energy. Let it move through. Honor it. Thank you. Goodbye. And know that your people are on the other side of this, on the other side of the release of anxiety, the other side of the mindset that you are now able to reprogram. And if you need some help with shadow work, because reprogramming the subconscious mind is what shadow work is. Pick up my book. Okay, Virgo, let me know. Are you on the first and seventh? And are relationships coming and going? Are you losing friends? Are friends coming in? Did you meet your husband? Did your husband break up with you? Not trying to be scary, but like when it's on the first and seventh, as well as for 10th and fourth, and the eclipses hit them, it's big stuff. Like it's always life-changing, big stuff. So let me know what's going on for you, Virgos. Leo, second and eighth. Second and eighth, Leo rising people. Okay, we love you, Leo rising. So your second and eighth, these are the money houses. Okay. What's going on with your money? Your self-worth, when you know your worth, that's when the money flows in, right? That's when the money, it's a money because money is a energy exchange. And so that rules the second house, your self-worth and what you are worth, your net worth. What is your net worth? Which has nothing to do with money, but then once you know your worth, the money comes flowing in. And then the eighth house, well, what are you releasing? You're releasing something about your worthiness. You're releasing something about your second house so that the eighth house, there can be a new beginning. But again, there is no rules when it comes to eclipses because you might have a new beginning in the second house. And there will be also a release up in the eighth. But do know that we have to work with the axis when we're dealing with eclipses because there's a letting go and a coming in and a letting go. Letting go with the second and the eighth. And the second and eighth are money houses. This is the second house is the money you earned because you earned it and so it's in your bank account. The eighth house is the money that you invest or that you inherit from your family or you get from being married or from your partner. So it's money houses stuff. So what's going on with your money story, Leo rising? And also it's the transformation. It's the transformation of you. Eighth house is all about transformation, and that's where the south node is. This is, or sorry, the North Node is. This is a South Node eclipse. And so you're releasing where the South Node is in your second. A lot of releasing so that you can transform, like the eighth house, the phoenix rising from the ashes. You can become that butterfly. You couldn't go back to the caterpillar even if you wanted to. So it's a lot about transformation. There's a new beginning regarding transformation and a new beginning for money. Okay, for you, Leo rising. Could also have to do with your sex life because that's the eighth house. So maybe a fresh new beginning. Maybe you haven't had a sex life for years and now that's coming in. But do know that there's a transformation awaiting you up in the eighth. And perhaps it's a money story. Perhaps it's a money wound. Perhaps it's a scarcity mindset that is leaving so that new energy can come in. Cancer rising third and ninth, third and ninth. Is that right? Third and ninth. Cancer rising. There is a karmic release in your third house so that something can come in your ninth. But again, keep saying this, like there are no rules when it comes to eclipses because maybe the karmic release is happening in the ninth so that you can get a new beginning in the third. But it's probably the other way around. Probably you're releasing something in your third. Maybe you're moving out of a neighborhood. Maybe you need to change things up with your neighbors or your siblings or your cousins or your friends that feel like siblings. Or maybe you're getting a new car because that's the third house. Maybe your transportation. Maybe your route to work is going to change. Maybe you're going to finally take the bus. This is all third house stuff that you're changing up. You're also, third house is your communication. So the way you speak, the way you write, maybe you're going to start a blog. Maybe you need to end that blog. Maybe you want to start doing videos. Maybe you're going to change the way you do videos so that in the ninth, there could be a beautiful new beginning. The ninth is publishing. So publishing books, publishing videos on the YouTubes. It's also teaching. So you're becoming the great teacher. You're no longer the student. The third house is the student. So now you're teaching. Maybe it's something about your master. You're going to sign up and do your master's degree, your PhD. You're going to graduate. So it's third house, ninth house axis. Again, it's no rules because it's eclipse. So it might be ninth release, third, but it's the third house, ninth house axis, which is all about learning, teaching, speaking, communicating, writing. And it could have to do with those people that you live around. You might need to release them, those people, those little nitty little people around you. They're not really your friends, maybe. Or maybe they're bringing down your energy so that you can get to the top. You can be that teacher and you can publish the course online. So let me know, Cancer rising, how that's affecting you. Gemini rising, fourth and 10th. Fourth and 10th. Gemini rising, it's huge, okay? Because the fourth and 10th is the axis that I always talk about when it hits those angular houses, fourth and 10th or first and seventh. So Gemini rising, this is a big one for you. There's something changing at home or with your family. You're saying goodbye maybe to a family member or you're moving out of your family home, maybe, getting your own apartment. Maybe you're moving. Maybe you work at home, but you're going to change your home office. Or maybe you've always worked out at the office and now you're going to work at home so that your 10th can shine. A new beginning can happen in your 10th. So working from home, right? This one hit me years back and I started doing my online coaching. So I totally understand this fourth, 10th axis. It hits huge. It's also the dad mom axis. So maybe you're moving out moving out of your mom's house, moving to your dad's or vice versa. Again, I always say it's probably you're changing things at home so that your career can change, but there are no rules with eclipses. It's working on this axis of mom and dad, career, home, property, house, home, real estate, and your public status. So it's probably you're letting go of a karmic release down in the fourth so that something can open in the 10th, but it's an eclipse. So it's like maybe this is what will happen. You'll move in with mom as opposed to dad. So there's no rules, but it's hitting the mom, dad, home, house, property one for you, Gemini rising. So let me know how this one's hitting you. And if you're okay, because this is angular, it's on an eclipse on your angulars, it's a big deal. Gemini risings, let me know. Taurus rising 5th and 11th. Taurus rising 5th and 11th. Okay, Taurus, 5th, there's something being released probably in the 5th so that the 11th can grow. So I always say this, like there are no rules with eclipses because it's a south node in your 5th house. So you're probably karmically releasing something in the 5th so that the 11th can open up. But since it's an eclipse and there are no rules, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you're karmically releasing something in the 11th so something in the 5th can open up. So let me give you an example. So again, this is a south node eclipse in your 5th. And that is all things children, babies, pregnancies, right? It's also joy, fun, games, sports, fun, lots of fun in the 5th. It's also creative projects, very, very creative. It's the artist, it's the performer, dancing, singing, speaking, as well as painting, as well as creating online courses, anything creative. That's 5th house. It's the joy house. The 11th house is your groups and your friends. It's also online. It's like it rules the internet, right? And it rules the future and it rules technology and future technology that we can't even think of. It's AI on steroids. We can't even think of what it would look like and flying cars and all the future stuff. It's medical advancements, right? So you're probably, Taurus rising, karmically releasing something in the 5th so that a new opportunity can open up in the 11th. So an example would be, so you've stayed at home to raise your kids, right? But you've got this job opportunity to work in a great tech job and you're going to be out of the house and it's going to be great for you and for your career. So you're going to open that door and you're going to say, you know what, the kids don't need me as much. Could be that. It definitely could be that. You're probably karmically releasing something. Maybe one of your kids has grown up and is moving out of the house. It could be that. And so that's going to open up your friendship group. Maybe there's a new door there up in the 11th house. Now you can go join that Tuesday night club and meet the ladies and who knows what that will turn into. Um, but there's some kind of a karmic release on the 5th and the 11th. So if you're Taurus rising, let me know what's happening for you. Maybe you're totally revamping. Maybe you already have a website and you're totally revamping your website, your online offers. You're coming up with a creative project that maybe you were working on a creative project down here in the 5th house. You were being very creative, but now you're like, look, this is going to be next level creative so that I can get it out there online to my community. I can bring it to the people. There's going to be a new door opening for you, Taurus rising, regarding all those things. Let me know what's happening for you with the 5th and the 11th. Aries rising 6th and 12th. Aries rising 6th and 12th. This is what you're dealing with. So there's probably a karmic release in the 6th so that something can open up in the 12th. So I always say it's not hard and fast rule with eclipses. There are no rules with eclipses. They work like you have to keep your heart and mind open when it comes to eclipses, but it's happening on the 6th and 12th axis. There might be some release in the 12th so that you can have a new start in the 6th, but you're probably releasing something in the 6th. Something in the 6th is about your health. This is your mind, body, and your spirit. So maybe something is physically happening with your physical body, but maybe it's a mental health crisis. Maybe you need to have a serious mindset shift, and then something will open up in the 12th. Or maybe it's like, look, I need to go and get some counseling, and the 12th house is in a hospital, right? Like maybe I need to go to the hospital for my health thing. There will be a new door opening in the 12th. And so the 12th house rules things like mental institutions, hospitals, orphanages, rehab centers. Maybe you need to go to rehab. Like it's stuff like that to take care of your physical vessel. So it's on the health and letting go, addictions, forgiveness. There needs to be an open door regarding all those things, all those 12th house things. Maybe it has to do with your sleep. Maybe you're an insomniac and you need to go to the insomniac clinic. you know. That's very 12th house and very sixth house. Sixth house also has to do with pets. So maybe something's going on with your pet. But again, there needs to be a karmic release regarding your sixth house, and it probably has to do with your health, but it might also have to do with your job because the sixth house is what you're doing every single day. And it's those habits that either are healthy or not healthy, that either are productive at work or are not productive at work. So it's your everyday. This is the work house as well. So maybe your job is going to completely change. And that might open up more time for 12th house things. 12th house things is sleep. You might need to sleep more. And so your hours will change at work. Could be stuff like that. And it's also about forgiveness and just resting. So maybe you're going to get laid off, like not trying to be fear-based, but maybe you're going to get laid off at your everyday work, at your job, so that you can finally rest, heal, something about healing, becoming a healer, and it might be in a 12th house, it might be in another foreign place, it might be regarding journeys, psychedelic journeys, stuff like this. So let me know, Aries rising, what's happening for you 6th and 12th, what resonates, what's dropping, what's the karmic release so that the new door, the new beginning can happen. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk about Pisces. Pisces, it's happening in your 7th house and your 1st house. Pisces rising, 7th house and 1st house. So if you're a Pisces rising, Virgo rules your 7th, right? And so you're probably releasing some kind of relationship, right? People, best friends, maybe a spouse, or a way of showing up for all of them, your closest people. If you're a Pisces rising, Virgo's ruling your 7th house. And so things are shifting in your relationships. Let's just be honest, right? And so your 1st house, you Pisces, okay, you've got the North Node in your 1st house. This is you're being encouraged to become more of you, to remember who you are, to take the rest. Pisces rising. Pisces are like they rule rest and slowing down. So have you been, and have you been taking care of your physical vessel? Because the 1st house rules your body. And so if things are not going well in your relationships, whether it's your marriage with your best friends, your business partners, or your closest people, if things are not going well in your relationships, it's showing up in your mental health and in your physical body. And so you're being encouraged strongly at the time of this eclipse to slow down and to take an inventory of how your body's feeling. What's the messages from your body? What are the relationships that need to be released? Because there are some relationships that probably are karmic because that's where the South Node is. And now you can become more you. You can shine more of your light because you're Pisces rising and that's where the North Node is. And so you need to take an honest inventory of what's going on inside your body, mind, and spirit and take an honest inventory of the people you're surrounding yourself with, the people that are there every day. Are are they helping you or not? And since Pisces is in the 1st house, okay, it could be any area of your life. So it could be your job and your colleagues, so it might not be your spouse, but it's your colleagues, and you are no longer aligning with your colleagues, right? So just take some inventories would be highly recommended. Rest, okay, because the North Node is in your sign, and when it's going through your 1st house, when the North Node is going through your 1st house, it's your opportunity to remember who the heck you are. And so I know you've been feeling that for months now. This is a very activating eclipse for you. There's a door that wants to be opened in your life for you to shine, for you to remember who you are, for your body to be healthier, for your mind to be healthier, for your spirit to shine. And so are you willing and available to open that new door, that new beginning in your 1st house? Probably have to let go of some relationships that are no longer serving you. Aquarius rising, 8th house, 2nd house. Aquarius rising, 8th house, 2nd house. Okay, so we're dealing with the 8th and the 2nd axis, the houses of the 8th and the 2nd. Okay, so if you're Aquarius, Pisces is in your second house. So there's a calling for you. That's where the North Node is. There's a calling for you to make some money, okay? To make some money, to have some self-worth, to increase your self-worth, to make some more money. And the North Node's up there in the eighth house. And maybe that's the money you've invested with your spouse or you made an inheritance. There needs to be a karmic release with the chunky money, the money that you've made with others, because there's money to be made that you can make into your own bank account. There's a new beginning there for you in the second house, Aquarius rising. So the second house is also urging you strongly. There's a new door there regarding your self-worth. What are you worth? What are you worth? So maybe you're going to change, if you have an online business, maybe you're going to increase your prices. That'd be a perfect example of how this eclipse is working for you. So starting October 1st, I'm increasing my prices to this because you know your worth now, and this is how you're showing up differently. You might make a lot of money all of a sudden, right around this time. There might be a whirlwind of money coming to you, and step into that worth and know that this is it. This because these are money houses for you, Aquarius rising. So it's all about worth, self-worth. What's the karmic release regarding your self-worth, regarding money stories, regarding scarcity stories, mindsets that are no longer serving you, mindsets about your worth that are no longer serving you, and transformation. Like I've transformed myself. That's the eighth house. Like I've been doing all the transformational work. I've transformed. Like this is where the South Node is. And it's just like, okay, I've done it. And now I am worthy. Like stepping into your worth in a whole new area so that the money can start flowing. Money is just an energy exchange. And really stepping into that, knowing the exchange, I am available for this energy exchange to start flowing with ease. So Aquarius, let me know what's happening in your money houses with your transformation. Things have died up there in the eighth. The eighth house is the death house. So perhaps there has been some death, that you've been dealing with, and now you know your worth. So let me know what's going on. What's going on and what's being released from the eighth so that the second can start to flow. And that worth and your worth, it has a new story and a new beginning at the time of this solar eclipse. Capricorn rising, ninth house. Third house. Capricorn rising, ninth house, third house. Capricorn rising. Okay, you've got Pisces. The North Node is lighting up your third house. Okay. And this new moon is in your ninth house. So there is a karmic release happening in the ninth. Something to do with overseas, foreigners, foreign travel, perhaps, publishing, school. You got your degree, you're done it, so now you can teach. This is the teaching, learning axis, the ninth and the third. What's the story there? That there's a release now. I've done the thing, and now we need to open a door in the third. For you, you're opening the door in the third, Capricorn. Okay, and what is it? Like, are you speaking now? Are you going to write the damn book? Are you going to start the blog, the Substack? Are you going to create the website? This is all third house stuff. Online, writing, communication. It's also neighborhood and neighbors. Maybe you're going to move to a new neighborhood. There's a new beginning that wants to start for you. Maybe you're going to get a new car. This is third house stuff for you. So what is it? Or perhaps it's the other way around. Perhaps, like you need to release up here or release down here so that you can have a new beginning up here and you can travel again. This is the travel axis. What is it for you, Capricorn? What's the door closing so that you can have a fresh new start regarding travel, teaching, learning, publishing, communicating? What is it for you, Capricorn rising? Sagittarius rising 10th and 4th. So this is hitting you, Sag. 10th and 4th. Sagittarius, 10th and 4th. I'm always talking about these angular houses, Sagittarius risings, okay? There's a karmic release on the mother, father, mother, father, father, mother, career, public status, house, home, property, real estate, all of this. Now, usually what we're releasing for you, since you're Sagittarius rising, and so Pisces is going to be ruling your fourth, you're going toward the fourth because up in the 10th, is where Virgo is, right? This is a south node eclipse. So you're probably releasing something in the 10th, probably something to do with your dad, something to do with your career. There's a karmic release happening in the 10th so that a new beginning can happen in the 4th, probably, but it might be reversed because it's eclipses and there's no rules, but probably there's a karmic release up here in your 10th. Your career might totally change. You might lose your job. Something with your dad, you know, you might lose your dad. That definitely happened to me if you go back and listen to the lunar eclipse. But that's when my dad died on these. So I'm not saying your dad's gonna die, but like stuff like this happens and it totally changes everything. And then you move, you get a house home property, or something changes and something happens in your career, and then you work at home. That also happened to me. So the 10th and 4th are no joke. And so what's happening? And is it related to house home property or your mother or your family lineage or your family wounding? Or is it about your dad, career, and your next level, your public status? Did something happen to your public status? Where's the new beginning happening for you? There is a new beginning that really wants to start at home. You did all that work at home, and then finally your career takes off. Let us know. Let us know, Sag rising, how this one's hitting you. Scorpio rising 11th and 5th. So 11th and 5th for Scorpio rising. Virgo's up there in the 11th house. Okay. So there's something that wants to end up there in the 11th so that a new beginning can happen in the 5th, or maybe it's vice versa for you, right? Which one is it for you, Scorpio rising? With eclipses, there are no rules, but you're working with the 11th and the 5th axis. The 11th is all things friendships and groups and online and technology. Okay. And it's the future and it's the future thinking and it's your future self. And then the 5th is all things children and babies and pregnancy and fun and games and creative projects and like art and it's the performer, it's the like I'm the singer, but I'm also the painter, but I'm also the online creator. So it's the 5th and 11th house that's being activated for you, Scorpio rising, okay? And it's a south node eclipse. The south node is up there in the 11th. You're probably releasing something with the 11th. You're probably releasing friends or something online or something that you thought was the greatest technology, but like there wants to be a new beginning down here in the 5th. There's a new creative project on the go. Are you open? Are you available? Or you want to start having a family, like 5th house, that's you're finally ready to try for a pregnancy. It's stuff like this. And I was so fun. I had so much fun with all my friends, but that stage of my life is over now. I want to start this. So let me know, Scorpio rising, what's happening for you on the 11th and the 5th. There's a karmic release regarding probably 11th house stuff so that the 5th house stuff can be a new door can open for you in the 5th house. Libra rising 12th and 6th. Libra rising 12th and 6th. So we have got a karmic release in Virgo happening in your 12th so that you can have a new beginning in your 6th. A healthy new beginning, probably. Probably every day you're doing new things. You've been encouraged. There's a new door opening for you to do healthier things, and you've started a new health routine. Or, maybe it has to do with something that you're doing at work every day and your tasks have changed, and maybe this is going to be better for you and you're going to release something up there in the 12th. And maybe it has to do with addictions and maybe it has to do with forgiveness and letting go, letting goddess. And maybe it has to do with any kind of an institution like a hospital, an orphanage, a rehab center, that kind of a institution. Maybe there's a karmic release there so that you can start a healthier, new daily routine down in the 6th, but maybe it is flipped. Maybe it is a release in your health and your daily routine, so something new can start up here. There are no rules when it comes to eclipses, so there is some kind of a karmic release on your 12th and your 6th Libra rising. Let me know how this is showing up for you. and how these messages are hitting. Okay, now we're going to pull a tarot card and an oracle card on this new moon solar eclipse. The south node is at 17 degrees of Virgo. And the new moon is at 29 degrees. That's why it's a partial. It's not a total solar eclipse. It's further away from the south node. But nonetheless, this is a south node eclipse. And so there is a lot of karmic releasing. There is a lot of goodbye. There is a lot of let go, let goddess energy at the time. And then there's some kicked up activation from the kite formation with the opposition of the sun and moon to Neptune and Saturn, really asking us strongly and demanding us strongly to make some decisions and do the damn thing so that we can get to that dream reality that I keep talking about. To get there, there might be some serious changes. And that's why we were looking at the axis that it was hitting. You have to look at both the houses when you're looking at eclipses. You're working with both the houses, and probably you're releasing where the south node is so that a new beginning can happen where the north node is. That's probably what's going to happen, but it's no rules with an eclipse, and it might be the opposite. There might be a release where the north node is, where Pisces is, so that a new beginning can happen at the south node, but probably 9 times out of 10, you're looking at the Virgo house placement. That's where the south node is, and that's where we're letting go of things. That's where we are releasing the things. And so therefore, there's probably a lot of relationship changes and job changes, and probably for sure, a lot of mindset shifts. And I do strongly observe you become I do strongly advise you become the observer because there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of polarity going on all around us, and we can get very judgmental and we can think it's us versus them, and the polarity can be heightened at times of eclipses. So I strongly advise you to take that step back, be the great observer. Oh, okay, this is what's happening all around me, and I'm staying neutral. I'm staying out of it so that I can release all of the old ways of thinking and the old patterns and the past programs that are no longer serving me because I want to go to this beautiful new beginning. There is a huge new beginning being offered in your Pisces house placement, probably at the time of this new moon. This is a new moon on steroids, it's a solar eclipse. So look back to August 23rd when we had that 0 degree Virgo new moon and look at your intentions and honor what you were writing then and what was going on in your life at that time, August 23rd, and look at what doors are being closed now so that new doors can open at the time of this solar eclipse. And here is the card. It's the star in reverse. Isn't that interesting? The star upright is Aquarius. It's the future. It rules the 11th house. It's future technology. It's your future self. It's the future. It is medical advances. It is technological. It's the next level of technology that we probably can't even think of what it is. So when it's upright, it is all the possibility. It is the greatest good for all. This card is the greatest good for all, and it is the humanity card, and it came in reverse. Have we lost perspective with humanity? Have we lost perspective of thinking for ourselves, going down rabbit holes, losing sight of what's important? The 11th house is the greatest good for all. It's not what the greatest good for you is or for just your family. It's the greatest good for all. Have we lost sight of this? I think that a lot of us have, a lot of people have been caught up in politics and us versus them, polarity. It's been happening. Go back and listen to the podcast that I did with Joanna on demystifying divinity, and we talked about this for about an hour about how during eclipses, the sandwich in between the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, those 2 weeks in there, it's always very polarizing. And the powers that should not be know this. They know that eclipse season brings it all up and they want us fighting. They want us to fight with each other and to hate and to spread the hate. And have we lost touch with humanity? Have we lost touch with what is the greatest good for all? I would strongly advise you to be that observer. Take that step back, observe around you, be neutral, let it go. There's so much release happening at the time of a South Node eclipse. This one's in Virgo, and South Node in Virgo is definitely advising us to have some discernment. Think for yourself. Let go of that which is no longer serving, and it might mean a lot of relationships change and other big changes. And here's the Oracle card, Joan of Arc, the warrior of light. I have a steel-like faith in myself. The angels armor me with conviction. Ooh, see, she knows what's right and wrong. It's her right and wrong. It's not because somebody out there told her what's right and wrong. She knows exactly the way that it is because she has unshakable faith. Do you have unshakable faith? Or are you going against all the people? And let me say, it's normal around eclipse time to get very divided and be very polarized and to be very emotional. So I advise you to get out your charts and see where Virgo is in your chart. Get on that axis that I've been teaching you to really dig into. And where is the release? Where are the doors closing on the Pisces and Virgo axis in your natal birth chart so that new doors can open, so that you can even get to the door to turn it and to open it so you can even get to a new door. Because if you are stuck in your way and if you are unwilling to see the other sides and just observe and be neutral, if you're unwilling to be neutral, then I'm sorry to say this, but this is the way that the cosmos are dishing it up to, that these new beginnings that are just, oh, plenty, are probably not going to be available to you because you can't get there. You can't swim up to it if it's you can't even get there. So I am urging all of you to become the great observer. Think of what's greatest good for all. Have that prayer, have that mantra every single day. What is the greatest good for all? And have unshakable faith. Know what you know and have unshakable faith in yourself. And know that there is a dream reality and it is brewing up and it is available to all of us if we're just willing to do this work and do the daily work. Take radical responsibility for ourselves. Do the unlearning that we all need to do so that we can reprogram programs that are no longer serving us. And on that note, thank you so much for joining me today. Share with me what's going on in your chart. What is your eclipse story? I would love to hear from you. And by all means, follow me on my daily updates because I will be giving daily astrology even after this new moon solar eclipse. Take care.